Hi, second grade. It's me, Ms. Phelps. We are going to go ahead and continue working on math. I hope you're so excited. Let's get started. Today, we are going to continue with what we talked about last week, but we're going to make it a little bit harder, and I know you're going to do an amazing job. So, we are going to represent and solve addition and subtraction word problems where we don't know one of the terms, and that's okay. We're going to do this by reviewing our important vocabulary. We're going to represent word problems with a strip diagram. We're going to represent them with an equation, and then we're actually going to solve. Why are we going to do this? Well, we're going to do this because it's important to know how to read a word problem and make a visual to represent what the problem is asking. Our important vocabulary that we have 5 different terms. The first one we're going to look at is addition. When we are doing addition, we're combining 2 or more numbers to get a total. When we do that, we find the sum. Sum is when we are going to add 2 or more numbers together. So sum is the answer to an addition problem. We also are going to work on subtraction. When we're doing subtraction, we're taking away an amount from a larger amount and finding the difference. The next word we have is difference. When we are finding the difference, we're finding the distance between 2 numbers, and it can be used with subtraction. So difference is usually the answer to a subtraction problem. It's the distance between 2 numbers. The last one we're going to look at is strip diagram. And a strip diagram is a visual of how to represent a problem. And we've been working on these all year long, and we're going to keep working on them. So let's get started. Here's our first problem. It says Ashley went to the store and bought 324 cupcakes and 472 cookies for a party. How many cupcakes and cookies did she buy for the party? She's buying lots of yummy things. So the very first thing that we're going to do when we are looking at a word problem is we're actually going to read it again, and we're going to look for that important information. So let's do that. Ashley went to the store and bought 324 cupcakes, so I highlighted that, and 472 cookies, so I highlighted that, for a party. How many cupcakes and cookies did she buy for the party? That's important because that's what I'm trying to figure out. So the first thing that we're going to do, or the next thing we're going to do, is we're going to work on our strip diagram. So let's think about this. If she is going to buy 324 cupcakes, and she's going to buy 472 cookies, is she going to join, or is she going to separate, or is she just going to compare? What do you think? If you said that we are going to join, you are correct. So let's think about what that would look like for our strip diagram. So I circled joining because it is a joining problem. And I'm going to join my cupcakes and my cookies. So I'm going to have 324 cupcakes on one side, 472 cookies on the other side. And I'm actually looking for the total number of cupcakes and cookies. So that's where my total is going to go. For my equation, there's a couple of ways I could solve for this problem. I'm going to use addition to solve. And I'm going to say 324 cupcakes plus 472 cookies equals my total number of cookies and cupcakes. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to solve, and I said with base 10. So we're going to use our base 10 blocks to help us. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually model 324. So I'm going to need 3 hundreds, 2 tens, and 4 ones. And I actually wrote it in expanded form to help me remember that. So here's my 300s, 1, 2, 300, 2 tens, so if I count by tens, 10, 20, there it is, plus 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to model my 472. I broke it into expanded form to help me in case I forgot. So 400 plus 70 plus 2. So I need 4 hundreds, I need 7 tens, and I need 2 ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4 hundreds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's my 7 tens. And 1, 2, there's my 2 ones. Now I'm going to actually add all of these together. I'm going to join them together. I'm going to put them together. So when I do that, I'm going to bring all of these over here, and this is what it would look like. So here's my 1, 2, 300s, 1, 2, 300s, 1, 2, 3, 400s, 1, 2, 3, 400s. So if I put them all together, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 700 so far. I had 1, 2 of my 10s, 1, 2 10s, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 10s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's all of my 10s. And then I had 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my 1s plus 1, 2 more. Now you'll notice that I like to do things with groups of 5 or groups of 10 if I have them, but it makes it easier for me to count. So now I just have to figure out how many I have in each of my groups. So if I think about expanded form, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 700 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plus 90 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 6, which would give me an answer of what? If you said that would give me 796 cupcakes and cookies in total, you are correct. She's going to have lots of yummy treats. So let's look at our next example. Move my camera a little bit. Here we go. Here's what it says. Nick had 574 marbles in his marble collection. He gave 237 marbles to his brother. How many marbles does Nick have now? So let's think about this. Nick starts with 574 marbles in his marble collection. He gave 237 marbles to his brother. How many marbles does he have now? So the first thing I do is I read it again, which I just did, and we're going to highlight the important information. Well, it's important to know that he had 574 marbles. It's also important to know that he gave 237 marbles to his brother. And I'm looking for how many marbles he has now. So am I joining my marbles together? Am I separating the marbles apart? Or am I comparing two different things? What do you think? If you said separating, you are correct. Oops, I hit too many buttons, but that's okay. So I'm going to create my strip diagram. With my strip diagram, I know that my total was 574. And I know that he gave 237 marbles to his brother. And I'm looking for how many marbles he has now. So I'm going to use my strip diagram to make my equation. With my equation, I'm going to do exactly what I just said. 574 marbles minus 237 marbles. And that's going to give me how many he has left. Now remember, there's lots of ways you could solve it. I'm using subtraction to figure it out. If you have another way to figure it out, that's completely fine. So we are going to solve with base 10. So remember, base 10 means we're going to draw our base 10 blocks to help us. Before I do that, I'm going to use expanded form to help me to decide how I'm actually going to draw this. So with subtraction, remember you start with your biggest number. So I'm going to model 574. So I have 500 plus 70 plus 4. Well, if I count by hundreds, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, that means I should have 5 flats. And then I'm going to do my tens, and I'm going to count by tens until I get to 70. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So I'm going to need 7 rods and then 4 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's exactly what my picture will look like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 500. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. There's my 70. And 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my 4. Now remember with subtraction, we actually cross off all of the parts whenever we're getting rid of them. So I'm going to get rid of 237. Now I'm going to start with my ones place. So I have to get rid of 7. So let's look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I can get rid of 4. But I haven't gotten to 7 yet. So what am I going to do? There's a problem. I've only gotten rid of 4, but I have to get rid of 7. What am I going to do? Well, I can use one of these 10s and I can break it apart. So I'm going to take 1 10 away and I'm going to make that into 10 ones. So I've only taken away 1, 2, 3, 4, but now I have all of these other ones. So now I can actually keep going. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I've gotten rid of all of my 7. Now I'm going to get rid of 3 tens, or 30. So I'm going to get rid of 1, 2, 3. And then finally, I'm going to get rid of 200. So I'm going to get rid of 1, 2. Now, in order to figure out how many marbles Nick has left, all I have to do is count the ones that are not crossed off. So I'm going to move my camera out of the way. And let's see, I have 1, 2, 300, 1, 2, 3 tens, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ones. So I'm going to put them all over here just so it's a little bit easier to see. And again, I could use expanded form to help me figure out what my answer is. So I put my expanded form to help me. So I have 300 plus 30 plus 7. So how many marbles does Nick end up with? I'm going to put all of these numbers together. And when I do, he has 337 marbles left. So let's review what we talked about today. Today we talked about how to represent and solve addition and subtraction word problems where we may not know one of the terms. We reviewed important vocabulary. We represented word problems with a strip diagram and an equation, and then we solved using base 10 blocks. And we did this because it's important to know how to read a word problem and make a visual to represent what the problem is asking. Now it's going to be your turn. You are going to solve 2 word problems. You're going to read the word problem and you're going to find the important information. Then you're going to decide if you are joining, separating, or comparing, and you're going to circle it. You're going to draw me a strip diagram to represent your problem. You're going to write an equation for the problem, and then you're going to actually solve the problem with base 10 blocks. This is what your paper is going to look like. So you're going to put your name on it. You're going to read the problem. You're going to decide if you're joining, separating, or comparing. You're going to make a strip diagram, equation, and you're going to solve. And I have a little check box down here for you, so in case you forget all the different steps, you can use that to help you. If you have any questions, ask your teacher. I'll see you next week. Bye.